I'm very excited for this one. So yeah, will you please introduce yourself? No need for me to introduce you.
Hi guys, as some of you may know, or some of you don't know, my name is Hugo, Hugo Schreuder. I'm from Stellenbosch, and I am competing in my third year actually now, in classic bodybuilding.
Okay, awesome. So when was your first show? Because if I'm not mistaken, your first show wasn't too long ago, was it?
My first show was back in 2021
Okay.
at the IFBB Western Province Regionals, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and how was? Because I obviously saw on. I've been obviously following you on social media for a while. We've been following you for a while, and I know obviously you did that your last show that you won, correct? Yeah. So the first one, how did that one go?
The first show that I ever
Yeah, the first show you ever did. Yeah.
So the first show that I did was I was actually not conditioned.
Okay.
I was actually not conditioned. I thought like it was quite tough. Looking back on it now, it was not even close to tough.
Yeah.
But the show was very quiet, unfortunately, because of the COVID. We had to. We couldn't let any spectators come in and watch.
That's a bit shit, eh?
So I don't have any videos or anything of me posing on that. All I have is just photos from that day. It was fun, but unfortunately, because I didn't have that full experience of the crowd and
It's just not the same,
that
eh?
many competitors. I mean, I think we had like a couple of bodybuilders. I mean, we didn't even go to like an overalls. We just did our lineup.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it was three guys, myself included, and I think just about all three of us were different heights, so we didn't even have like height lineup or anything.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. So, yeah, it was still fun nonetheless.
Yeah, good experience. At
yeah,
least you got your first one out the way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the fact that I got to go through a couple of poses that I don't get to nowadays, stuff like the side tricep I had to do,
Okay.
as well as we had to do a vacuum pose, which I really love because that is
Oh, yeah, my favorite.
I love
Yeah.
vacuuming. So as soon as they said vacuum pose, I knew exactly which pose it was. And
Yeah.
I knew exactly how to hit it. So
Okay.
it was really fun. I had a lot of fun actually with it, but it barely even like the bug barely bit me.
Okay.
Barely even.
Okay.
As soon as I really got into the shows and got the full experience, the rocket took off.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And also, I guess the better you get, the better your placing gets. That bug just bites, you know. So how many shows have you done up until now?
I've done 4 shows up until
Okay.
now. Yeah.
And then the most recent one was that your best placing?
No,
Okay.
that was actually my worst placing. Was my last show.
Oh shit. Okay.
That was the African Pro. Yeah, it was not my best show. I didn't have the best experience, being totally honest.
Oh, am I? I might be confusing the. Did you do a show in Pretoria or Joburg?
Joburg, yeah.
Is that the one that you won?
No. That was the pro qualifier.
Was that the pro
my
one? Okay.
Second
Okay.
show from last year.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so was that the you had a bit of an issue with your posing routine, eh?
Yeah, so basically like beforehand, so what I did was I downloaded the song, but the full song, and where I wanted it to start was around 1 minute 20 seconds. I still haven't even set in my head. And like beforehand, I did go up to the DJ and like tell him, where I would like it to start. And he tested it out for me, and I said that's absolutely perfect. And come show day, I guess there was just too many things busy in his head, and I don't know if he by any chance like cut it or if he just had to remember to start it from there, but he didn't. And like I didn't want to I kind of felt like the moment was already ruined to kind of like ask him, and everybody's in such a rush that I just felt like trying to stop it and say like, no, this is actually where I wanted to start.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, it's okay, let me just do the thing.
You do your thing, yeah.
My physique wasn't there, so I already felt kind of like set back because of that.
Okay.
So I was just like, you know what, okay, let's just call it a day. Well, I'm just gonna do what I actually practiced, but I guess this is the end of the day. That was kind of the last thing that I was looking forward to, but I mean, that is what it is.
That's that must have been extremely disappointing, because I know that feeling of, you put all this time and effort into extreme amounts of effort, like it's ridiculous, you know, what you put your body through for, you know, whatever your prep is, the 12 weeks or whatever, and you go through hell, and then you get there, either you're not in the condition you want to be, you're not the way you want to look, and that's a fuck up, because you put in all this effort and you look shit, or something like that happens. I mean, that's just but I don't understand the so when did you start off stage, or did your routine start on stage?
I asked him to start them on stage.
Okay, and then he just fucked up the okay.
Yeah, I was standing there in the middle, and I was waiting for it, because they usually start with the song and then they kind of increase the volume.
Yeah.
And I thought I heard a little something, and then as it progressed, I kept hearing it getting louder, and then I was, oh no, that's the start of the song, like way in the beginning. So I was like, okay, here we go. This was the last thing that was, because I knew, like, from the get-go, like, where I was standing and looking at my condition compared to the other guys, I knew, like, kind of like, yeah, this is not going to go, today's not going to be that great day. Like, the competitive side, comparing my physique, that was not going to be there. So I was like, okay, you know what, let's just look forward to the posing routine. That was kind of the big thing that I was trying to hype people up about. Was, if anything, is that I just wanted to put up a show. I just wanted them to look and see what I can do.
Because from what I understand, you also put a lot of emphasis and effort into your posing routine. So that's also, like, you know, that's like your thing. So that's fucking disappointing. But that's actually a perfect segue to the conversation we wanted to have about that video about that you wanted to talk about the what's his name, Nick Trigili or whatever his name is, that did the video on it's Milos and Bob Chigurelo, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I didn't actually get to watch that video. I'll definitely will watch it. What was the premise of the video? Because look, I know he likes to fucking over exaggerate with shit that you know. I like his videos, don't get me wrong, but he does like a lot of hit pieces on people, which I don't really. He does. The thing is, reporting on what's happening in the bodybuilding industry is cool, but if you love bodybuilding so much, I don't really understand why you want to like fucking hit the guys the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Which, look, there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it like we don't want to lie to the public about like what's actually going on in the industry, and then you also look at it like we want bodybuilding to become more of a mainstream sport, or have higher prize money, all that stuff, make bodybuilding better and more more popular. And then you're like sitting there like bashing all the guys. I don't know. To me it's just like you know. But anyways, look, he makes his money off doing it, so you know, good on him, whatever. But what exactly was the premise of that video?
So basically, it was regarding the symmetry rounds that they did away with, I guess at the pro level, as well. I believe they still have the symmetry round in classic, but I'm not sure about it in 212 and open bodybuilding.
Okay.
I believe they said they did away with that.
Yeah.
So they do the quarter turns. However, I believe what they said is they don't really actually judge it, which is a big factor, because I mean, it's part of your criteria is to be symmetrical.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they say. They want you to have mass, they want to have you conditioned, good separation, but as well you need to be symmetrically proportional.
Yeah.
So they did away with that, but also the fact that they did away with that because they felt they could save more time with it. Being on air.
Because I guess in one way that makes sense, just because there's so many competitors now. You know that like they've put in more competitors. There's more pro shows. So obviously like classic, there's like 1 million guys, and now this previous year there was it 30 open bodybuilders? Like it was way more than usual.
So 30.
So I guess that makes sense, but at the same time, like, you know, that's like that's also like the fun you have on stage, because the rest is like really competitive and you have to concentrate or whatever, like your posing routine should be like the thing you go there to have fun and just do it.
Exactly.
And spend a lot of time on instead of like a diet and training and all the shit that you put so much effort into. Now it's something you can do that's fun and show off the parts of your body that you don't get to show off on on the mandatories. So like
Exactly.
for instance, if your back is your strong point and you get two back poses and you go into your routine and you do 3 or 4 just to show off that. So that, for me, like that's extremely important. But are they saying now that because I think in the Arnold Classic they do judge the posing routine, am I correct?
Yep.
But in the Olympia they don't, and most of the other shows they don't.
It's funny for me that the guy that people sometimes have a problem because he has the older mentality of looking at bodybuilding, which is Arnold. He's one of the most passionate guys about bodybuilding. I mean, love to Arnold, but he's just like all of us are. He's a meathead, he loves this stuff and he says it. I mean, let's all be honest. That's what we are. But we freaking love it, and that's what he loves. He sometimes he can have critiques that are a little bit of a tongue in the cheek. Like he would always mention like the calves and stuff. Like we all do know that you don't need to have massive calves. You need to have a little bit of something.
You can't have anything.
No judge is really going to tell you that they're judging your calves.
They don't.
If it's decently sized and in proportion, then you can get away.
You get away. 100%.
I have a problem actually with the fact of having calves that are too big to the extent that they actually take away from your upper quads.
I agree with that fully.
So I almost want to say like I like to have that shape, that flow, so it's just round and then comes in with the waist and then round out with the legs and then comes in really close again with attaching to the knees, and then just having the calves just blow out the same.
It definitely takes away. You're right. It definitely takes away from the quads. Like I know that even when I was like still competing and stuff, I never train calves because genetically my calves are fine. Like for the stage, there's no problem with my calves, So when I used to train them when I was younger, then they would just like get out of proportion, and then my quads would look small. So I agree with that. But then tell me, so was obviously Milos was on the side of bringing the posing routine back. But Bob was against it.
He just found that. So I didn't hear completely what Bob had to say, but he was still basically putting it to the side of like, because it's the things that if you look at the scorecards are basically identical from prejudging the finals. Like if you look the same or even a little bit better than prejudging, then you're basically just gonna have your score being drawn over to the other side. And it doesn't give what it basically does is it makes it extremely difficult for the shorter guys to be able to have a say. Now, especially that the 212 is coming, a lot of 212 guys are coming over to the open. And it makes it difficult because most of the 212 guys are actually symmetrically better built than the open guys. I mean, the only guys that you're really, in most cases, I could be eating my words, but in most cases, it's actually the guys with the better shape that they have a better shape because they have that great symmetry. And it's something that's just a bit shied away from, How many times is Frank Zane trying to preach to people, just don't chase mass, try and chase that complete head to toe balanced physique, and now you're not able to show that off in the symmetry round, but now also the same in opposing round, because you have a body that's phenomenal, but you can't show it off. It's like saying you have a Formula 1 car, but now you're putting just a regular ass geez, a learner driver.
Yeah,
So
it's a good reference.
so
Yeah.
now everybody else is going to be running circles around you, but you barely can get into fourth or third gear because you're just not used to it.
Mm.
You don't do that. So that's the same with them. I'm not expecting 300 plus pound shredded big Rami to go into an Icarus pose like Terrence Ruffin does.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, like you can do a little bit something.
Yeah.
I remember I made a comment on YouTube once regarding Ronnie Coleman where I said like even Ronnie Coleman did like a really nice routine.
Yeah.
And somebody reacted like, "What, Ronnie Coleman?" Like I think it was like 98 or 99, and I was like, "Go check it out." Because before I made that comment, I went to go check out like what his routine was. Slow paced, almost doing like these ballerina type turns.
I used to do the fucking splits at like 300 pounds. Yeah.
And I mean, one of my favorite physiques has to be Flex Wheeler. Like
100%.
I love the way that guy looked, and to this day, it literally still breaks my heart the fact that he never won an Olympia.
Best physique. I think best genetic physique I've ever.
Yeah.
Genetically, he was just
the peaks on his biceps, his back double bi.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even looking at his back double bi compared to Ronnie's, and I preferred his back double bi more. It looked nicer for me, and I never knew why I had like an if with Ronnie's back double bi until I looked close. His little, I always call them the little circles there on the sides of your lats. Close to the rotator cuffs. I wasn't exactly sure why it didn't mesh with me so well until I realized that the muscle surrounding it was just bulging over it. And I was like, okay, exactly. So that's a type of back I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So
Look, both of them were just phenomenal. But you know that's so true, because if Ronnie could do it, he was one of the biggest guys ever. You know, if he can do it, I think anyone can. You know, you can do it.
Exactly.
There's just also for the sake of the fans, you want more people to come watch bodybuilding. You want more people to buy tickets. You want more, clout around bodybuilding. You need that shit for the fans. That's what they want to see.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That they want to see, like Nick Walker or Big Ramy or whatever. Okay, Nick Walker obviously did it, which was amazing. But these big guys, they want to see them do their posing routine, and it's fun, and the music's loud, and it's like becomes this big atmosphere. So, for them to take it away, I think in my opinion, it will definitely be to their detriment, because I know for me, I've followed bodybuilding forever. Like I know this. I understand this shit. You know. I know a lot more than most of the people that come and watch and whatever, and they just want to see it. But I don't just want to see them fucking stand there and do quarter turns and then they're like mandatory poses. I want to see the most entertaining thing is to see a guy that weighs 300 fucking pounds like run out on stage, do the splits, fucking, like I want to see that shit. And I think most of us can agree that that's the whole part of actually going to watch the show. Especially for people that don't know anything about it. Exactly. They want to see that shit. Like, so I think, I think to take away those type of things is very, very silly.
It's the fact that there's this brand new guy who, in my opinion, should this guy come in 100% conditioned, like actually shredded, peeled to the bone, and I mean, I would say maybe just a little bit more mass, maybe just a little bit more filled out, slightly, to the slightest bit, but just conditioning, is Andrew Jack. If that guy comes in, peeled to the bone, I'm even seeing Derek having a tough time, because I'm not going to take away from the fact that for me, it seems that guys who are taller, obviously you need to have that genetic insertions and whatnot, but the taller guys actually, and I'll say this as a short guy, they look fucking better. They look better structurally and aesthetically.
100%.
And you come in with somebody like Andrew Jack, he is so reminiscent for me of Ronnie Coleman. I have to say it. He is so reminiscent. There is nobody else that has that it factor, I feel. The fact that Nick Walker, who placed third to a bunch of jack guys, you know, who beat Big Ramy, he said that while Andrew was just sitting there, he said he made them look like amateurs. Exactly this guy comes out at a shredded 260, 270 pounds, and look at the poses he's doing. The guy is doing a full-on split on stage. First of all, you can't tell me you can't stretch if he's stretching and he's able to do that.
100%.
And he brings something fun. I don't expect you to always come in and have your routine practiced perfectly, have it be a Terrence Ruffin type posing routine, but I expect you to do a little bit more than doing this I'm a big guy running from across the stage from the one side to the other, doing a most muscular. Like, I know you like your most muscular, but have a little bit of fun, play around with the other things. But I guess if that is your thing, if that's what your strength is, then play to it. But I do want to see a little bit more.
I think most of us do, to be honest, you know?
You know, I think the one thing that Nick said that I really liked is it's like a routine in the Olympics from like figure skating or from gymnastics. You're judged upon how difficult it is, and I think that would be a brilliant thing to bring in, is judge the performance on its difficulty level and how you're able to do it.
Okay.
You're going to get a higher point scoring for the difficulty that you're producing here from a range of 1 to 10, but then also how can you do that? You're going to get a much stricter score on a higher difficulty level and a easier score on a lower difficulty level. But if you get, let's say you are able to produce the same effort and quality with both sides, the one that's more difficult is going to get you a better score, because when you said, you know what, I'm going to take this chance, I'm going to do this pose, I'm going to do this routine, they're going to say it's a 7 out of 10 and it's an 8 out of 10, and I was able to do it in their way. I did it maybe correctly, perfectly. I mean, then you're doing fantastic. Or otherwise, I do it at 70%. You know, that I think, in my opinion, if you have those two type of things, it's very easy to go from there. Because you're going to be, if you don't hit the pose correctly and you're not able to do this routine perfectly, your look is going to look off. You're not going to be hitting the pose at the right angle or whatnot, and then they'll score you down on it. But if you're able to do that, it's gonna bring the field just even that much closer. It's really gonna squeeze the guys, and it's gonna make people go, oh, but why did this guy get above that guy? And it's like, okay, but go back to the routines and watch those two, and then you watch those two and you're like, oh, okay, now I see why. You know, in my opinion, if we're gonna go for making the time shorter of the shows, then take it out. But then people are gonna be complaining that the shows are too short and they don't get to see their favorite bodybuilder up there for long enough.
Yeah, they're sitting for like a minute, 2 minutes.
We're paying a lot of money just to go watch some of these shows, and I haven't even gone to a pro show, so I don't even want to know what it's going to cost for me to go and watch one of those things. So if I'm going to sit there, especially if like the Olympia, I have to sit there for 6 hours, I want to be able to sit there and see my favorite bodybuilders for a quite decent amount of time.
100% agree with that,
And now you're saying, okay, let's do away with the posing routine, which is actually a breather that you get to give to some of the guys. Not everybody has to do it, just a couple of people. But if you're doing away with that, now they need to come back out again, and the physique's going to get worse. Because the more you're going to pose, some of these guys are going to get tighter and drier as the time goes on. That already happens. But at a certain point, these guys are near 300 pounds shredded, that type of body switches up like that instantly.
Yeah.
So now you're giving them another 2, 3, 4 rounds of posing to do. The guys are going to be knackered. Absolutely, the tan's just going to be dripping
off.
Or in some cases, people are just going to pass out because you need to actually hold up your breath and you need to really work that posing routine. So a lot of guys are going to get very tired. So I just think it's a much easier idea just to go and say, let's make the posing routines count. It's something different. It's something fresh. Yeah. It's not even fresh. It's always been there. Let's just fucking do something with it. Let's make it actually count. Let's make the guys want to produce something. Those type of videos are going to go viral. If you take a Nick Walker, a Big Ramy, trying these things, they fail it, but they try it.
Yeah.
It's going to go viral. It's these type of things that progressively go and that is getting into the community, that's getting into the younger generation. People are going to like that. People are going to look forward to it.
Yeah.
I see so many guys that are phenomenal posers, but I feel they just don't get rewarded because of it. And they standing next to the other guy, maybe he's smaller than he is, but look how he's able to show off his physique. It looks statuesque.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be rewarded.
I agree. I think it's definitely a different perspective. Some good ideas you have there. Look, I agree fully. I think that they gotta have that routine. And like you said, just about when it comes to like bringing in fans and all that good stuff, we need that stuff, and we need the thing I agreed with the most is you don't want to pay. Let's just say whatever they're paying, like $100 or whatever it is. Even if we go to a pro show, if there's pro show, and you're spending 400-500 rand on the ticket, and then you see your or let's say you go to a show and your best friend or whoever's up there, and you're gonna just see him come up for 2 minutes on stage. That's bullshit. You want to see him fucking do his thing, do his routine, get some videos of that type of thing, post them. Like you said, things like that can go viral. So I agree with that fully, 100%.
I have to say that the one thing is that going to the competitors, which I kind of forgot about, is the fact that some of these guys, especially with the girls, with the bikini competitors having 20 plus weeks that they're busy prepping for a show.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of time and effort, and people that if you're not doing bodybuilding and if you haven't pushed yourself that hard, you're not going to know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But it's quite fucking hell when it gets to around week 6, 5, 4. Week 4, it's hell. It's absolute hell. I have to.
It takes some mental. It definitely takes some huge mental strength to get through that shit. 100%.
Exactly. Like you deserve your time. Like after 6 months of prepping, you're gonna be on there for 30 minutes max. Total amount of time. Make it worth it for yourself. Make it worth it, and have the competition, the judge, and the whole scheme make it worth it for you as well, not just as well for the people that are watching.
100%.
And here's the thing for me: if we want to take up bodybuilding and make it popular and have more asses in the seats, then you got to be able to think outside of the box. You can't be thinking, let's make everything else better. Let's make all the LEDs and all those kinds of things better. But get more people to come and watch them.
Yeah, they put more money into getting people in the seats than all that other like stupid semantic shit.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just want to check something.
No,
we'll edit this out. Just want to make sure that we still strong. Perfect. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that fully. I think, but I think there's a lot of discussion about it now. So I think hopefully the promoters of the IFBB and the NPC and whatever hopefully sit down and have this conversation, similar conversations to what we're having, and not just within themselves. They do a poll. They do that type of thing to understand what people want, because that's at the end of the day that's what's important. Without people to come watch it, there's no show. You know what I mean? So
I think the best thing that you could do is, people like questionnaires. They like a very easy questionnaire. Just pop yes or no. I think very easily, and I feel this is where the representation with Bob, I feel could be better regarding with the athletes and the federation, where they could speak, is that they could just send out a survey if you want to do it for all the competitors. But for instance, you could send out the same thing for pros, and you can send the same thing out to the amateurs.
yeah,
You send them out to their representatives in the countries and whatnot. They send that email out. I believe the IFBB, the pro ranks would have their emails already, so I believe they would just easily be able to forward it to you. But regarding the amateurs, you send them out to the representatives. They put that out on a group or on their socials or whatnot. Say, please, when you get the time, just go check this out.
yeah,
It's very easy, it's very quick, and it's questions like, should the posing routine count? Do you guys want to be able to do this? Do you guys want to be able to do that? Do you guys want more rounds of posing for yourself? Do you guys want less? Give a reason why.
yeah.
And then you can take that, and the easiest thing to go with that is just take the yeses and nos. You can literally throw out the reasons, but just the yeses and nos. You can
tally
get
it up.
a percentage saying, yes, we would like to have that, yes, we would no. If it's a 70 to 30%, I believe in that case you go like, okay, I feel this is valid, let's sit down. The big heads sit down, they say, okay, so this is what our athletes are saying. They would like this posing routine to count, or they would like to take it out. They feel they would rather have more rounds of posing.
Yeah.
They sit down, they say, okay, what are we gonna do for them? Because at the end of the day, are you gonna do a show if it's fun or not? If it's not gonna be fun, I'm not gonna be doing that show, because
100%.
I don't like it. I don't want to be part of that. So if it's gonna be fun, you're gonna be attracting a lot more people. If kids come in and they're not nearly conditioned, they don't even care about how they look, because maybe they feel they can't achieve that.
Yeah.
So now they come in at their best that they can possibly do, but now they look forward to that posing routine because they got that song that they really like. It hits them and it's awesome, and they get to. I honestly, looking back at my eye candy, like that show was perfect in every way that I did that, and I felt that posing routine, the effort that I put into practicing that thing perfectly. I mean, I had to take a routine that Terrence Ruffin made, and I had to change it up in a little bit my own way.
Yeah.
And the way that it flowed, the way that the song was perfect, everything, it was an amazing day for me, and I go and look back on that over and over and over again. At the same time, I get to look at it and be like, what can I do better?
Yeah.
But it's a moment in time in my life that I will never forget. It's the first show. It's not actually the first show that I won, but it's the first NPC show, the first overall that I ever won.
Yeah.
And it's something really special to me, and it's something that will be special to them, regardless of their placing. They get to say, I did this show. Like, look at what I did on this day when I did my show. Like, look at this posing routine that I created. Whether it's a professional looking thing or it's an amateur looking thing, they have fun. It's something that they can remember to go with.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to ask, what is going to get more athletes competing, to the point where we're going to have to make amateur shows on different days. For example, the I Candy Josie, it has to be split up because that's how many guys and women are competing there. They need to split up the men's physique, bodybuilding, and classic into separate days.
Yeah.
That's where we want to get to. We want to get amateur shows to be that much longer, that like, okay, it's classic and open that are on these days. It's as well as, let's say, bikini and wellness. And then on the next day, it's men's physique and the figure and fitness and that so forth. Like, you want to get to those type of ways that you have different days.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be able to bring more people in. Like, if I don't want to watch the bodybuilding and I just want to watch the men's physique, people who like the men's physique can come on that day and watch
That's a good point. Maybe you split it up more time, more days. That also helps the point of having more time for your guys to be on stage. So it's not so, quick. And so yeah, I agree with that fully. I think if all these shows, even these amateur shows, are over 2 days, and it's like the females and physique on this day and bodybuilding, then you got a whole whatever, however many hours. Then everyone can do their routine. Everyone can have their time on stage. Everyone can. It goes back to our conversation about you spend 6 months preparing and you got 3 minutes on stage. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. So I think that's a very good point. Maybe making all these shows over 2 days. The only thing is the promoters will say that it costs them more money. But yeah, anyways.
I feel that maybe it might cost them more money, but I feel at the end of the day, it's almost like advertising. The more advertising you're going to put into it, the more you're going to be getting a return on investment.
Yeah.
Like, all you're actually doing is, like, whatever it may be. Like, I just feel like at the end of the day, you don't know if that ad is just going to be charring money or if it's actually going to be working.
Yeah.
But you need to take that risk. You as an entrepreneur need to take that risk to be able to take your show to the next level, to be able to put more finances into the show for the competitors and for the spectators. But because of that, there's going to be more people drawn to it.
Yeah.
People are going to see the professionalism in that. They're going to be wanting to be associated more with that. I mean, the trend on TikTok, for example, I mean, that platform is blowing up, especially with the younger generation. And if you look at most of these guys, the trend is this hard style type of songs, which I really like a lot.
Yeah.
But when you look at those TikToks, what are they doing? Most of them are doing classic poses. They're having fun with the posing. It's not about the whole classic idea, but it's just the fact that you're not gonna get an open show asked to do your favorite classic pose. But if you go into your posing routine, you can do whatever
the fuck you want. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Look, I think there's a few good ideas there that I don't know. Look, I don't know if anyone's going to hear this, but if they do, hopefully. Well, look at I'm sure some of the South African people in South Africa. The only thing is, I think also the way ours are run in South Africa are obviously very different to overseas, and it's definitely not on par. I don't want to bash the guys, or the NPC,
no,
but it won't be, obviously, because it's not the same amounts of money being pumped in. It's not as popular in South Africa. So look, I think we're getting there though. I think that's also, it's very cool to see younger guys, all like you said on TikTok, all these younger guys, even in South Africa, posting these TikToks. They're doing this classic posing, and they're all getting it. I think CBUM had a fucking huge thing to do with it, because
that's
before it wasn't that popular, because no one wanted to look like fucking Ronnie Coleman or whatever. But now they got a guy that's so popular, he's so mainstream now, that it's so even if they don't want to compete or they don't want to take bodybuilding seriously, it's just like that's the person they want to be. All these that's all they want to be is fucking Chris Bumstead. And I think he's done so well. Well, not I think, I know he's done so well for the industry. So it's encouraging. And also, if you just go to like any gym now, any Virgin Active, Planet Fitness, whatever gym you go to, but you see these youngsters, 14, 15, 16, whatever, and all good, you know what I mean? Like, good for them. They fucking standing there, doing a little bit of posing, all their classic. Do it. That's fucking awesome. It's awesome to see.
I really love interacting with the younger generation. For myself, I'm not calling myself the big guy, but being a bodybuilder, I had to realize that I am going to be looking a little bit different, and the fact that I look in the mirror and I think maybe like, maybe I don't look as big, or I don't look as intimidating, I don't maybe look the part of a bodybuilder. That's how I feel. That isn't exactly how other people are feeling.
100%.
And that's what they tell me. I mean, I do get stares when I walk around the mall. I do get stares when I walk around the gym. That's just how it is, because how I see myself isn't them. So I guess they see me as bigger than what I do.
100%. You'll never see yourself as the size that you are ever.
Exactly. So I mean, so the thing that I just try to do is that, they can be scared of you because you're this intimidating looking type of guy, and I mean, I always have this quite intense looking face, like I look like I'm really quite into it and then I'm going to break somebody's head off. But
yeah.
in most cases, like I've told many people before, like if you come up to me and like just say hi, just introduce yourself, you'll quickly find a very easygoing guy that would have a chat with you any time of the day.
Yeah, I think that's the majority. Someone put up a post the other day. I'm not too sure it was, but like one of these popular influencers or bodybuilders, and they said you would find that when you go to these gyms and stuff, normally it's the biggest guy that's actually he's normally like the nicest guy to speak to. Where it's like these other like skinny guys that think they fucking jacked to the guild.
Yep.
They the biggest knobs.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's the exact same chat.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I've gone through that. I've been through that process. I know what it feels like to be scared of the big guy. But for me now, like, I don't want you to feel that. I want you to come up to me and have a chat with me. Like, please, by all means, come make friends with me. Like, I want to make friends with everybody. I love my gym. As much as I want to go to the US and I want to move there and go to one of those amazing gyms, the day that I'm able to do that, I'm going to be pretty damn sad, man. I'm going to be sad because that gym of mine is like a family to me.
It's like home to you. Yeah,
it's my
familiar.
community, and I love building up the community. I want to... that's what I love of what this generation is building up with the younger guys. Is I love that gym community thing. The fact that I can go up to a random girl and I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm just trying to make friends with you because I want to be able to give you high fives in between, ask you how you were doing.
Yeah.
Like, we all have a common denominator here. We like training. So let's have fun with it. That is our break the ice type of thing that we can talk about, is our training and what we like to do. And then in between, I get to ask you, like, how are you doing, this and that. And so I'm so invested in one of my friends who that same day when I won the eye candy, she also won. She's from my gym and we're real close friends.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool.
And I mean, when I heard, and I saw actually her post that she won the overall, I was literally like, I wanted to jump out of my seat. Like, I was so happy for her. I have so much... I've trained with many guys, bodybuilders and just regular lifestyle guys, that it's fun for me to connect and to be able to build up this supportive community with each other instead of breaking it down,
100%. I think there's like this weird thing, and I don't know if it's just here. Well, it's not just here. Sorry, it's not just here, but it's definitely more here. When I go train, there is this like weird like energy going around the gym that like everyone's trying to be, especially in the commercial gyms, like the Virgin Actives and the Planet Fitness. There's like this weird fucking like everyone's trying to be better than everyone else, and it's like fuck you. First of all, you know what I mean? Fuck you. First of all, you're not better than fucking anyone. If you know what I mean? That's the first thing. I mean, I've had a guy. Look, I almost fucking smacked someone at this one Planet Fitness here. Not because I was there, I was doing my fucking thing, but like, you go to someone, you ask them, sorry, bud, are you used there was a rope on the floor next to you. He was doing like tricep extensions, but there was another rope next to him. And I come to him and I say, sorry, but do you mind if I use the rope? And he just looks at me like this. He just looks at me and he's like, and turns his head. I was like, excuse me? Like who the fuck are you to, like you said, everyone's got a common goal. Everyone's got, it's like there's a common denominator here. We're all trying to get better. So for you to like fucking break, and also I've also seen like these small guys, like very small, like youngsters, 14, 15 in the gym, and then like their form's not great and whatever, and you see like these guys next to him like laughing at this kid, and I think to myself, if you were in that position, imagine how you'd feel. Go to the fucking kid and say to him, listen, let me help you out. Do it this way. Maybe it will help you. You know what I mean? Go help the kid. Don't fucking, don't break him down. I think that's bullshit. And there's like this ego thing and this arrogance thing that's in these commercial gyms. That's why I've trained at them, unfortunately, but that's for a different reason. But I'd like to get out of that. I used to train in a private gym, and it was it's not like that. But anyways, I want to. That's enough of me ranting about people. But
no worries.
I want to find out. So, you've done all these shows. This is like your thing. This is what you want to do. I'm assuming. What's the end goal? Where do you want to take this? Because some people, they want to just compete for the sake of competing, enjoying it, win a few fucking trophies and medals or whatever. Some people want to turn pro. Some people want to turn pro and go to the big stages. Some people want to and can't. Look, dude, you got a fucking crazy physique. So I think it would be a waste for you to not take it as far as you can. But what's the goal? What's the goal in the next year, and what's the goal 5 years from now?
First goal is straight up. I want to get that pro card. Last year I was trying to gun for it. I think I had a good shot. I mean, I don't think I was the front runner. I don't think a lot of people even saw me being in contention for it. But hey, I shut you up when I ride at Eye Candy.
There we go.
So, I mean, that's at the end of the day, a big thing is like, shut them up. If you were gonna say something and you're just as good as your most recent placing and
100%.
Your statistics. But anyway, getting back to it, it's like I want to get that pro card this year. I want to put as much muscle on as possible. My weight cap apparently is now up to 77.
And how much did you weigh your last show?
My last show was around 73, 74.
Fuck, that's and your height? Sorry, I just want to how
my height is 167. 167 and a half apparently.
Okay, that's pretty big at 167.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
But that was not completely peeled, conditioned. Like there was still like some water retention and a little bit of fat build up. But that if we take, because Eye Candy in my opinion is my show condition, my absolute 100% show condition, and that was around 70.5. So I have around 6.5 kgs of full on mass to put on to come in bone dry shredded. So for this year for me is get that weight up, get up as high as possible, and then I want to be able to cut to the point where I am literally cutting off muscle mass to be able to make my weight class, because that's how conditioned I want to come in. Also the other things I feel like doing that I can carb up so much more aggressively, not exactly a dirty carb up, because my favorite coach, Honey Rambod, the last thing that he does is a dirty carb up. So, but still, like you can carb me up a lot more aggressively, so that I can come in just that much fuller. So for this year, I'm going for that pro card, and in the next 5 years, once I get my pro card at the end of this year, it's Olympia bound.
That's awesome.
I don't want to go, and I don't want to just go to the Olympia just to compete. That would be a fantastic tick to make. That I went to the Olympia, but I want to be able to go to the Olympia and do what Terrence Ruffin did. Stand toe to toe with Chris Bumstead. Be able to stand toe to toe with the big guys, with the top guys, and to be able to go in like someone like Ramon Dino. Like, he looks fantastic, but let's bring the art. Let's bring the posing and the stage presentation, I think the one thing that that Terrence just didn't have was that aura that he carries. I feel that Chris has that in spades. He just walks out and
It's
just
just like
oozes that.
fucking.
So that's what I want to be able to bring, and I want other people to bring that as well. So
yeah.
within the next year, I want that pro card, and then after that, I'm Olympia bound. That's where I'm going.
That's fucking awesome. I think, like I said before, I think it would be a shame if you didn't take it as far as you possibly can, you know. And look, it's there's so much competition out there, and it's tough. Don't get me wrong, it's tough. But don't don't let anyone fucking tell you can't do it, because the thing is also, like, because of so it being such a small thing in South Africa, there's not much money in it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. You know, there's no one really that can compete, and that's all they do. They have to have a proper job, and fucking, no one's making money. Yeah,
exactly.
So I think the effort levels to get to that stage isn't where it should be. So I think if there was obviously a lot more money in it, yeah, and you could make a living off it, yeah, we'd have guys at the Olympia, but we don't.
Yeah.
So, look, bro, be the first person to do it. Fuck it. I think I don't think there's this. Yeah, there isn't a South African. We have a South African pro in classic, which is Dylan Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
But look, maybe you'll be the first, but that's fucking awesome, bro. I'm very very excited to see where you go.
I think that guy, what him and Stefan did, from the pro qualifier to his first show was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think his first package that he brought to that show in Dubai was, in my opinion, him stepping up into the pro ranks. Like the way that his conditioning, his symmetry, everything flowed together looked stupid.
Yeah,
absolutely stupid. And that he is. After I saw his pictures from that show, I was like, okay, you're in my ranks now of like my Chris Bumsteads and my Terrence Ruffins.
Yeah, he looks, and he's got fucking phenomenal legs, phenomenal legs. He's got the huge sweep off the hip. Looks absolutely crazy.